In today's episode, we're going to be covering a little video that was originally covered by Clyde, and then I saw Frank Vaughn cover it, and it's about the CBC and their blatant bias and the lack of accountability when it comes to CBC following a code of ethics. Let's get into today's video. Welcome back to the Freedom Pines podcast. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get into it. So, to be fair, I got this off of ChatGPT, okay? And I read you guys the code of ethics that I wrote down when I was in school. But here are the ones that were for the journalists. Okay, accuracy. Emphasizing the importance of verifying all facts diligently. Fairness. Ensuring balanced reporting and giving subjects the opportunity to respond to allegations. Independence. Avoid conflicts of interest and maintaining editorial independence. Transparency, being open about methods and acknowledging errors promptly. Accountability, holding oneself responsible for the reliability and fairness of reporting. So then we have decency and conduct, treating subjects and sources with respect and sensitivity, corrections, promptly acknowledging when the correction errors, integrity, avoiding conflict of interest and not accepting compensation that could influence reporting. This is in Canada. Privacy, respecting individuals' privacy unless overriding public interest dictates otherwise. Independence, resisting censorship and maintaining editorial independence. Equality, reporting factors like race or religion only when relevant. Authenticity, presents news without distortion and identify any reenactments. And accuracy, informing the public in accurate, comprehensive, and fair manner. Informing the public of an accurate, comprehensive, and fair manner. Okay, so we're going to listen to this, and I can talk to you guys right now about how this 4-minute video goes against all of those ethics. Shall we?
Getting humiliated on national television.
Do you think a trans woman is a woman?
No.
You've probably seen...
That's funny, because doesn't that already go against fairness? Because the whole, women are not, we didn't have a problem before. Nobody wants to listen to the other side, and the other side has detrimental stories to tell you guys about what's actually happening in Canada, by the way. I'm talking about women being harmed in places they should not be harmed ever in the ways that they are being harmed. Okay, let's move on. Shows a photo. The next is of... Listen.
This in your feeds before. They're confrontational and partisan.
They're confrontational and partisan. And they showed a video of Pierre Poilievre eating the apple. You don't want to show... another thing that they could have pulled is the clip of Justin Trudeau yelling, "You can't get on a plane or a train," and simply having also Pierre there eating the apple. But they didn't, did they? No, because they're not fair. They're not fair. And they're already driving a narrative right here, which is exactly what they're telling this content farm not to do. Let's keep going.
Had it been for the Democrats and the Biden administration.
This is one of the most popular Canada...
Cuts it out. Cuts it out. Doesn't let her even finish the sentence.
...based news accounts on YouTube. But it's not really news. It's more like what people call a content farm. We'll break down the formula that makes it so popular and try to find out who's behind this channel. Why would someone start a channel like this? What's it for?
You know, it's for making money.
And what's wrong with that?
If you dig into this channel...
What's wrong with that? At least they're getting more authentic views than you guys, who literally only profit because of... You guys don't even bring in a profit. You suck off of our tax dollars. What? And then they wonder why people don't like them. Because you break your standard code of ethics all the time. And then you call yourselves journalists. You're content creators for the government. That's what you are. I'm a content creator. I'm not a journalist. I give my opinions about things. Rachel Gilmore, content creator for the left. Not a journalist. Not, you know who is one of the only real journalists? Trish Wood and Kareem Assad. I will say that Rebel News has done a lot of great things, yes, but there is obviously a bias there. And obviously, I think that with the contrast of CBC, I understand why they're there. But also, to be fair, they are still funded by their members, by people that support them. And most of the time, they're not even generating the money that they get from YouTube because they're demonetized. Let's move on.
Are ripped from Senate hearings, university lectures, or TV shows. It's all part of a bigger trend.
The content farm can take many different forms, but these channels in particular do seem to be using the political content in particular and what they feel is going to drive the engagement.
And that's
as CBC is putting spooky little serious dramatic music behind what they're doing right now. You're just mad because you're doing this and nobody believes you anymore, and these people are doing it and have way more views than you.
Exactly the kind of sweet spot this creator has unlocked.
Showing another photo of Pierre
We've looked into this channel before. They used to post cheap fakes about Canadian politics, but it's almost all American now. The Canadian ones they still post aren't as popular. We also noticed a change in where this person is posting. Most of the content is uploaded to YouTube, and that makes sense if the person is in Canada. You can't make money off TikTok views here, but a YouTube channel that can get millions of views, that could generate serious cash.
Is that a problem?
Has changed quite a bit.
These people are helping the government, in my opinion, allegedly, try to convince us that having money is not a good thing. God forbid someone edit a video, upload it to YouTube, and make money off of that. That's supposed to be the CBC's job. And they're just mad that people are doing it better than them.
It used to focus on finance content. Clearly, they're searching for what will boost views and revenue. And for now, they've decided that's not Canadian news. The American politics focus is working. Real Talk Politics is one of the most viewed Canada-based political content.
Really? You think it's working? You don't say when you guys were using the Trump card to get Mark Carney elected so that you maintained in office. Do you remember when there was Chinese interference? And what they said? Nothing. They said nothing.
And it's not just this account using this strategy.
I'm sorry, this makes me so mad. Because my tax dollars fund
Our friends at Décrypteur found a bunch of other channels doing very similar stuff. They might be left-leaning or right-leaning, but they all feature the same kind of style and tone.
But they're not showing
Some
any
even have the same kind of channel description. Now, we can't prove the same person runs all of them, but at the very least, they're all chasing this.
What this person probably did was put in a prompt in AI, and it's probably all AI generated, and they wanted to make money. They realized that there was money to be made off of politics and went from there. Who cares? Who cares? Really? Who cares? I don't think that it's right to do like really insanely clickbait titles that have to do with war, but I also don't care because I understand what it's like to live in Canada and be censored and have to do these things to be able to be seen, which is partially these people's faults because God forbid they report on things accurately and tell us what's actually happening with the censorship in Canada. They want to control the narrative. And you know, if you're over a certain age and you have cable, which most millennials, most people who are younger do not have that. Most of us just watch YouTube. I've been watching YouTube since I was young because we had such crappy internet in Southern Ontario. We couldn't even get Netflix, but I've been watching YouTube since 2016 exclusively. Okay, let's keep going.
Same success. The person or people who run Real Talk Politics keep their identity hidden.
So thank God you're doing a whole report on them.
Available. So we reach out. We want to know why they make these kind of videos.
Why do you?
Meanwhile,
why do you? As they say this, they put I'm just reminding you guys, dramatic music and glitching sounds all the time. As they're saying, why do they make this content? Why do you keep making content that is so unbelievably pro-liberal? And you might think that this is not pro-liberal. It is. When every single thing they show is either Trump yelling, Pierre Poilievre eating that apple. They have yet to show anything about the left at all. I would love for them to cover me in the slightest, because that's just what they do. Like, it really bothers me because what bothers me the most about it is that they keep getting our tax dollars and they're ruining someone's chances to succeed. Because
we found dozens of similar accounts, some of them with millions of views, competing with traditional news. So what does that mean for how you get your information?
These types of accounts are presenting themselves as the way to get informed, and they are embedding partisan perspectives typically within that information delivery.
What do they think this is? Genuinely, CBC, give your heads a freaking shake. You're doing this right now. This is a 4-minute video. What do you think you're doing, CBC? You are this is why nobody likes you. This is why I had more hours. I had so many hours on my TikTok of people watching my videos, because I've always made kind of longer videos. I could never keep it under a minute or anything for the most part. And I had more hours on my TikTok with my 3 to 5 minute videos than CBC did. I was like, I went to school to work in television and broadcasting, and I am getting more views than the CBC, and they have 22 million subscribers. This is why. Because you guys are so out of touch with everything. You ignore the fact that Canadians are going through actual struggles, and then you report on things like this. Why don't you report on what they're reporting on? Why are they doing this? Like, why are people so interested in it? Is it because people are actually going through things? Is it because people are just susceptible to, as you guys seen, I removed my my blind poster because that's coming on Wednesday. But is it because you've gone so far left that nobody listens to you anymore, so they're watching other perspectives? Could that be?
So it's really causing this shift in what information people are receiving, and is also going to force us to really reconsider what we think of as media literacy.
The videos are partisan, but that's not the whole story.
Not the whole
Some
story.
of them are misleading, just like the cheap fakes from before. Take this one.
I recently asked my friend's little girl what she wanted to be
and
when
I
she
agree
grows up.
with
She said
CBC
she
on
wanted
this.
to be the president.
No doubt in my mind. I don't know if this person knew that this was AI or not a clue. But either way, you need to label AI shit AI. I agree with CBC on that.
That's AI. The story itself seems to have originated as a chain email joke in the mid-2000s, and there's no record of Reagan making that speech. Now, realistic-looking
Wild.
AI videos are supposed to be labeled on YouTube.
That's crazy that it's from the early 2000s and it's that good. Don't you think that's kind of weird, by the way? No, don't report on that.
We asked YouTube about the Reagan video and their approach to content
shut
farms.
down.
The next day, the channel was gone. Taken down because of YouTube's spam, deceptive practices, and scams policies. The creator told us they didn't know the Reagan video was AI, and say they're definitely not a content farm because, quote, every video involves original scripting, research, editing, and visual sequencing. And they believe YouTube's takedown is wrong and, quote, harmful to creators who act in good faith to broaden political discourse.
Yeah.
Do you have a content farm you think we should look into?
CBC!
Left-leaning, right-leaning, or somewhere in between?
CBC! Let's look into the content farm that is the CBC, because that's what I'm alleging. Allegedly, I think the CBC is a literal content farm for the liberals, and they're telling them on themselves in this video. And they're mad that their content farm isn't doing as good as as this content farm, despite them having all of the resources with our tax dollars to do so. They still can't figure it out. So CBC, I would love to wonder when you're going to bring back real journalism, because here's the thing: sometimes CBC does have some good journalism. I can think of the story on the I don't even remember. It was about Rowan Noranda. Don't judge me. That's not how you say it at all. I seen a CBC cover. I think it was CBC. Maybe it wasn't even CBC. Talking about what was it? It's on the factory in Rouen, Rwanda. And it was talking about how everything was corrupt and poisoning the town and blah, blah, blah. Overall, I think the CBC needs to fend for itself, just like the rest of us. Just like the rest of us. Why? Because just because you've been, and you know what, the amount of corruption that they have partaken in over the years is actually, and imagine the amount of narratives that they have said over and over and over again and helped the government to do so. I do not understand. My Dion quintuplets, that's from almost 100 years ago, and CBC is in one of those pictures because they hosted everything. CBC is corrupt. CBC for a long time was the only place you could find Indigenous voices. So the only place in Canada you can find Indigenous voices, unless you're on TikTok, is through the fucking Canadian government still. The CBC needs to do this on their own. If you guys want to gain a true audience and not just be projected into people's televisions, but actually be watched, you're going to have to learn how to adapt and overcome and gain your trust back. I used to be a big fan. I am a big Canadian fan. I love Canada. I remember going to a store in, I believe Berks Falls, and it was Sunridge. And they had CBC merch there, and I loved it, and I wanted to buy it because I love everything Canadian. And thank God I didn't, because the next year was 2020, and I was so disgusted with their bias about everything and their fear-mongering that I completely stopped watching them, because this is how mad I get every time, because I know that these ethics exist, and they're just continuously breaking them. Watching David Cochrane run around as if he has... as if he's the spin team himself for the Liberals. Unbelievably hard to watch, knowing that that is my tax dollars, my husband's. I don't pay taxes right now, but you get what I mean. So anyways, what do you think? Are you guys sick and tired of the CBC? You guys should follow me. And let me know, are you guys sick of the CBC's bias? Because I know I'm sick and tired of the CBC's bias. And tell me the time where you actually stopped respecting them in the slightest. Mine was obviously during the Safe and Effective campaign. So, anyways, guys. And not getting Justin and Trudeau in trouble for literally anything. Ever. While they rag on our only chance of getting ahead. Anyways, guys, tried to channel my anger through to the video today, and I hope I did well, but I'm not doing this to stir up anger. I'm doing this because I'm angry, and I know that a lot of other Canadians feel the exact same way as me, because how can they not watch that video that they put out and realize that that is exactly what they're doing? And Rachel Gilmore, you are a left-leaning content creator. You're not a journalist. There's no left-leaning journalism in Canada. Sorry. Go to Cuba. I'm sure the state would love you. Anyways, guys, have a good one.